Hi, this is a quick review of the surrogacy process, a little bit about the timeline and the process ahead. Of course, when it comes to your matching and your coordination, we will give you the exact details and breakdown of your specific journey and what to expect. So first, there's joining our program, which can take 1 to 2 weeks. It really can be done in a day. It just depends on how quickly you get through our application and how soon you're able to schedule a time to speak with us. So that is entirely up to your schedule and your convenience. Once all your application materials are in, we will present you with profiles that meet your needs based on that application. And together we will sort through the best profiles for you. And the next step would be meeting a potential surrogate. When you've selected a potential candidate, a surrogate, we will share your profile with those you would like to have a video meeting with. Your profile doesn't include any contact information. It's anonymous, but it gives the surrogate a little information about you before they mutually agree to a meeting. So it just gives everyone a little bit of background before entering into a conversation with one another. If everyone wants to move forward with the meeting, that is facilitated by a coordinator, so you are not alone. That is something we facilitate and mediate. We'll give you some questions and suggestions on topics to bring up in your meeting, but of course we are there to guide the conversation and to try to make it as organic and comfortable for everyone as possible to see if you are a good fit for one another. If all goes well with your video meeting and everyone wants to take the next step forward, then we would move forward with agency agreements and committing to our services to begin coordinating your journey with your clinic and legal team. So after there is a match, which means the agency agreements and deposits are all taken care of, we will release the surrogate's information to your clinic to begin organizing medical screening. They will inform us how they would like to complete the psychological and medical screening. Typically, the psychological appointment is done remotely or locally for the surrogate and her potential partner, if there is one. And the medical screening is a one-day trip to your clinic. If the surrogate is not in your state or within driving distance, she will need to fly in the evening before, have her screening appointment the next day, and return home. At this appointment, she will have extensive blood work, a sonogram or a saline sonogram, as well as she'll have an opportunity to speak with the doctor about any questions or concerns. And typically, they do the medication teaching at this appointment as well. Of course, prior to that, all the medical records from your surrogate are provided to the clinic for review. This includes the pregnancy and delivery summary of all of her births. So those are reviewed by us, and then of course again by your clinic to make sure that she meets their requirements. This medical screening one-day appointment can take, just the process of medical screening as a whole can take about 1 to 2 months. This really depends on how quickly your clinic can schedule her. Sometimes it is cycle specific, which means they would want to see her on a certain day in her menstrual cycle. So it's up to their availability. It can be sooner, it can be longer. It mostly depends on their protocol. The results after medical screening can take about 1 to 2 weeks. That depends on the clinic. Once they have all the labs and results in, they will issue medical clearance. With medical clearance, we can move on to your legal contracts. If you do not have an attorney already, we can help you find one. It is always advised that your attorney is in the state where the surrogate will be delivering. So that is something we will help guide you with. The surrogate has her own representation as well. The legal process can take 3 to 4 weeks. Can be slower, can be faster. It depends on the attorneys and their schedule and availability to have a quick turnaround, and as well as if we've ironed out any potential negotiations in the matching process and nothing comes up later, which we do our absolute best to iron out all the details so legal can be a smooth, quick turnover, quick process. Your attorney will draft the contract and send that contract to the surrogate's attorney for review. From there, if there are no changes, everyone signs their contract with one another. With the contract being signed, you will need to fund escrow. We will help you establish your escrow account. We do have a partnership with a third-party escrow, and that is included in our services. So you will fund escrow with the amount that is included in your contract, which is typically the surrogate's fee and the additional expenses. With legal being taken care of, your attorney will draft a legal clearance letter to provide your clinic. A surrogate cannot begin medications without legal clearance. The clinic will require this letter on file before they will even create a calendar for the medication and the transfer procedure. So with that letter being sent to the clinic, the nurse team will generate a medication calendar so the surrogate can begin medications at home. During this time, she will have monitoring appointments local to her. These appointments are facilitated by us and your clinic. Essentially, your clinic provides us with orders, and we organize for them to be completed at this local clinic. The local clinic or local monitoring is not interpreting or evaluating the results. They're simply carrying out the blood work and ultrasound requested by your doctor, and we ensure that those results are sent to your doctor same day for interpretation and evaluation for any adjustments in her medications or any changes. So everything is entirely in the control of your doctor. This local clinic is acting as a lab essentially during this time. So she'll have monitoring appointments, which will vary based on your doctor's protocol as well as the surrogate's response to medications. As we approach the transfer, the surrogate will need to travel back to your clinic for the transfer procedure. At that time, she does get to bring a companion for safety and comfort, as well as someone to take care of her while she is on the bed rest following the procedure. The transfer travel does vary based on the clinic and surrogate's response, but it should be about 3 days total, or 4, depending on how much bed rest your doctor or you yourself require of your surrogate. They typically fly in the evening before, have the transfer the next day, and rest for 24 to 48 hours, depending on the medical recommendation. After that, she resumes monitoring appointments locally near her for up to 12 weeks if there is a confirmed pregnancy. The pregnancy test is determined by your doctor, but the first pregnancy test is normally 2 weeks after the transfer. But you can expect she will have monitoring appointments at the local fertility clinic, potentially up to 12 weeks. Could be 10, could be a little bit less, but she has not transitioned to her OB during this time, which means she is not using insurance, and intended parents are responsible for these monitoring appointments. Insurance cannot be used for the fertility aspect of this journey. Once she has weaned off these medications and she is discharged from your fertility clinic's care, she will then transition to her local or previous, in most cases, OB. At that time, it presumes as if it's a normal pregnancy, and it is insurance is applied in these cases, and the surrogate resumes care with their provider, and we mediate all the information and contact during that time. Your surrogate will give you frequent updates and will facilitate all the communication that has been agreed to, and everyone has set their level of comfort early on, as well as we supplement any of that communication with you. Typically around the end of the first trimester, the start of the second trimester, we will notify you it's time to contact your attorneys again to start your parentage documents for typically your pre-birth order for the delivery. This needs to be done well in advance because sometimes the attorneys need up to 6 months to file and tackle the parentage process for you to be named on the birth certificates. And that leads us up to delivery. At this point, you would have your pre-birth order and everyone is getting ready to welcome your child or children into the world. We are there when needed, but of course there's always the surrogate and her family of support. We are in the midst of COVID right now, and the amount of people in the room is subject to change. It's something to keep an eye on as hospital protocols change over time. But most parents are able to be in the room depending on the state they're in. So something to keep in mind. We'll help you with that transition. And of course, if you're working with pre-birth order, you will be on the birth certificate, and your attorney will guide you through all those legal aspects. I think that is the bulk of the summary. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. We will update you on your journey specific details such as insurance and medical bills, questions like that. We will let you know when you are in the matching process and specific to that surrogate and her location. Where a surrogate lives does change the cost and experience a little bit, but we do work with surrogate-friendly states where it's legal and smooth for you to complete this process. We look forward to helping you. Don't hesitate to contact us. Again, this is just a quick summary of what to anticipate. As a whole, you can prepare for about 3 months from the time of matching until transfer. It can be a little bit faster or slower, depends on your clinic, but 3 months is a healthy, quick turnaround from the time you match with the surrogate until she has a transfer, and of course, resuming through a healthy pregnancy and delivery. Reach out to us if you need anything else, and we look forward to helping you soon.